Hi folks. Right, I painted a huge amount of painting, some good, some not so good, over many years. But I do get fed up with the same old variations on a theme. Try to find something different. And I'm always aware of abstraction and who's the judge of an abstract work, like say Rothko, or my favourite abstract artist, although he said he wasn't abstract, just his response to emotional experiences, was Howard Hodgkin. Sir Howard Hodgkin died 3 years ago. I've got 2 of his books signed by him. I absolutely love some of the stuff he did. I really relate to it. And not only that, my neighbour across the road, my late neighbour across the road, went to art school with him in the 50s. They're both are dead now. But Sir Howard Hodgkin, have a look online on Google, or just find his work. There's some documentaries on him on made by BBC mostly, but they're on YouTube now. And he didn't like painting in front of people. He was quite a private man, big man in stature. But he would paint, say, a painting over a period of a couple of years. He didn't just sit down and watch nothing for 2 years. He carried on painting, but he put them away and got them out, put them away, got them out, did a bit, and it's wonderful, wonderful. But who's to say that it's rubbish? Who's to say that Jackson Pollock, who started the sort of modern expressionism, I suppose, abstract expressionism with his drip paintings and so on, they're icons, but who's to judge? Who's to say? And I've done a number of abstracts in the past. And for those of you that are quite new to my channel, you might be surprised that I'm going to do this or have a go at it, because you will be expecting me to do a watercolour or an acrylic oil. But this is going to be an oil. I'm going to use a very limited palette and see what happens. Got white, bright red, Payne's grey if I need it, with this black here, and Viridian, which I'll put blue out. I'll put my ultramarine blue out. You shouldn't need many colours to complicate things. You just add a bit of white, mix that with white. It should go quite brilliant against the black. I don't want to cover the whole black. The Hodgkin he painted small ones and large ones, but he was famous for painting. He'd have the board in the frame and he'd paint over the frames. In other words, he would carry on the motif into the sidelines and off onto the wall, if you know what I mean. So imagine that was a frame. Some of this would be covered with the painting. But that was what he did. He also painted on wood, thick wood, and if he could get a big board that maybe had been cemented together with glue, he would use something like that. They're very heavy, and he always insisted that his paintings, once bought, were displayed on an empty wall with no competition. But if you look at some of his paintings, you might go, ugh, this isn't painting. Well, I've said that myself. Excuse me, before I actually started painting myself in my 20s. But you know, even at my age of approaching 78, I still am experimenting. I'm still trying to find my way. I can't say that I've ever found it. But I have sold abstracts. I sold 3 in a gallery in Hayes Gallery for quite good sums of money. Hayes Galleria used to be, had 2 galleries in it. It was very good. It's on the Thames off Tooley Street, Waterloo. And the curators, they own all of the promenade between Tower Bridge and London Bridge. It's the council, the London Assembly is there. It's a very lovely place, and the atrium next door was where I had two exhibitions with a friend. I took one in, quite large. It was a semi-abstract. I took it in on a Friday. But I mean, by Monday morning, it had sold for quite a good sum of money. And so there's no accounting for taste, but 3 or 4 others that went into another gallery after the exhibition finished. We took them all into the galleries next door in the Galleria, and I sold 3 or 4 more, but big ones, but they were abstracts. I just made them up as I went along. They didn't take very long. But who's to judge? Well, enough for me. Let's just start. But where do we start? Where do we start? We don't start with a tree like I normally do, or a sky, because there's not going to be a sky. I better put out some media, so I'll just put a bit of there's a bit of oil in my. It's got some dryer in, but it's dry. But the linseed oil is still a bit wet, so that's good. So let's start with a very bold. Well, put a bit of red, a bit of this light red. And we can just put it somewhere else. This is I made a mistake. These 2 that I'm going to do now are old paintings, small old paintings, 10 inches by 8. But they weren't that good, and I couldn't be bothered to cut a couple of them. So I went over them with a black paint, but I used acrylic. Well, of course, you're not supposed to put acrylic over an oil painting, but the oil painting was quite dry. It's been done for a long time, so you shouldn't have a problem with it. Okay, I'll clean the brush, and I'll put in some Viridian. Now, I'm not going to clean my brush, but in the interim, I'm going to wait till the end. So I've got some lovely Viridian. Got a bit of blue, a bit of white. Look at that. Look what happens to it. Just sort of shapes. Right, that's Payne's grey there. A bit of yellow to that. Okay. Just making a statement, really. I'm just going over some of this. Just drag over that. That yellow is chrome yellow. I thought I would like an acid sort of colour. Viridian white is a beautiful colour. Now there'll be some of you gasping and say, "What is he? Is he mad?" Yeah. The Mark Rothko's he gave to the nation are in the Britain Tate modern. Oh, it's a wonderful. I love it there, especially when you haven't been there for a while because of the lockdowns, but. But you look at them and you think, well, what's in his mind? There was nothing. He just did them. They were probably unconscious. I said, like this is, I'm talking to you, but I'm doing a painting. I'm not thinking about what I'm doing. I'm just making shapes at the moment. I've got a frame for this. I will put it in a frame. I don't know what that means. I haven't used much blue, have I? Oh, so a bit of that. This isn't so much painting, it's just doodling, really. Just thinking about, I'm sort of thinking about what I'm doing, but I'd like, oh, that red, let's put it somewhere else. No, that's not. Well, I'll just in my tea, let's just have a look at that for a minute. I'll put it, I'll just straighten up the edges a little bit here. Just dragging. Right, okay, put that in the frame. I can hear you say, oh, it's a load of rubbish. It is. It's painting without thinking, really. It's rebelling against realism, even at my age. Right, bear with me while I go and find a bit of space to put this in. I've primed another couple of these boards, so I will be painting on them. But I want to do two this morning. Put them in the old black frame. Just needs another coat of paint, really. Alright, let's just put a couple of pins in. One over there. Right. Okay, but there we are. There it is. It doesn't exist in, let's slow it down a bit. Doesn't exist in reality. It's a sort of Howard Hodgkin type painting, except that he'd take 2 years and I've taken 15, 20 minutes. And he was a trained artist, I'm not. I've had a lesson in my life. Other than watching YouTube, but I was painting long before I knew about YouTube. Oh, it's a start, isn't it? I'd like to try to do this all the time, but I would lose all my subscribers, no doubt, and they've taken quite a lot of hard work to establish. And well, I can hear the click-offs already. But you know, it's painting. It's putting paint. It's expressing what I feel at the time. So we'll just look at that for a moment more. Then I'll find something else to do. I'll just. I've got a sore neck. My neck is really not good at the moment. I think it is usually in the past. It's been straining an easel in the same position, and of course downloading and looking after my channel in front of the TV with my neck in two directions. So you have to be careful. You know, it's like riding a bike. You can fall off. Right, well there we are. That's one. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.